Hi viewers, it's time to unpack all of the stuff that I took to Scotland with me when I went camping the other week, last week, a few days ago. It was a week ago. I've completely lost track of time. I went camping on my own for a week and I need to unpack. So I'm going to go through everything that I took with me and whether it was useful or not useful, if it was a complete waste of space, and explain why I've found this out and what I would do to make it better next time, because I do hope to go camping again within the next few months, so every trip is a learning trip. So first and foremost, this is the tent that I took. It's an OEX Fox 1 V2. Oh no. It's a one-person tent. It's like a coffin tent, and I bought it off Millets really recently. It was the first time I've actually put it up and used it, and it was a really good tent, provided it was dry outside, because there's no room around or within the tent for you to sit and stay dry. You can't sit up or stand up, of course, in this tent. You have to do everything lying down. So as soon as it started raining, it was a nightmare to get changed, and I couldn't sit outside and cook or drink tea or anything. So this tent was fine, but I think going forward, if I'm going for any length of time or there's going to be any risk at all of rain, I will be taking my bigger tent, which is, I've lost the bag for it, so it's in here. As you can see, it's a lot bigger, but it's not a huge amount bigger, really. It's like the difference between this one will fit in my Krieger 30 litre dry bag, and this one will just have to go on the top somehow. So that is something that I learned. It's a really good tent, but for a long journey, for any length of time, it's probably better to take a slightly bigger tent where you can sit up in it. It's got a bigger porch, and if you've got wet stuff, you can keep it away from you. So that is thing number one that I've learned. I need to put that back in the bag. Oh yeah, the next few things all fit into this 30 litre dry bag, which is part of the combo 50 litre system that Krieger make. It's surprising how much stuff you can get in there, to be fair. So that was thing number one. Thing number two is my sleeping bag. This was like £35 off of Amazon. It's a 4-season sleeping bag. It's obviously not amazing, but it's actually decent. I use this all year round when I go camping, and I've got a £10 stuff sack from Amazon which you can tighten to make it really small. So it's like proper compact in there, and that also goes in the dry bag. I don't know anything about sleeping bags, so when I buy them I just get whatever cheap 4-season sleeping bag has good reviews. Also in the dry bag was my mattress, which is in this pile somewhere. It's just a generic sleeping mattress, so it's not like a full-on blow-up airbed. It's like a roll-up mat. Again, I use this so much. And then it's got like a little valve thingy, and you just blow air into it and it inflates slightly, just enough to make like a really nice sort of comfortable but not really mattress, which is better than sleeping on the solid floor. And that went in the dry bag as well. What else went in the dry bag? I think that was it for the dry bag, and then there was just space around the edges that you could just shove things in. So that was the 30 litre dry bag. I had a couple of things that I bungeed onto the outside of the luggage system just because they wouldn't fit in. So I always carry a spare blanket with me. So it's not like a special camping thing, it's literally from Tesco's. It's just like a throw, nice and soft and fluffy, and then when you're sitting around in the evening, you don't have to wear your bike jacket, you can just throw a blanket over your shoulders, or you can put it over the sleeping bag for extra warmth. It always comes in handy. And then I have this one, which has just got like just a basic camping pillow. But for pillows, what I actually use is I fold up my textiles, and because there's nowhere else for them to go, I put them under my head, and then I put the camping pillow on top of it, and I make this nice and small. You just kneel on it, get all the air out, do it up, and then it's like a quarter of the size of this, and then that goes on the back as well. And I also carry a tarp everywhere. I put this underneath my tent because like the underlayer of a tent, it never feels like it's particularly robust. It feels like it might break if you put it on a sharp rock or something. So I lay tarp down first, and then I put my tent on over that, and then what I can do is just pull like a bit of tarpaulin out from under the tent, and then I can sit on that if my tent doesn't have a porch, which that one doesn't. So this is always very handy. And then I suppose like it's got eyelets and things. You could turn it into like a little shelter if you needed to. It's just a really useful thing to carry around with you, and it rolls up small and you just shove it on the back with everything else. So this is my first 10-litre dry bag. I'll see what I packed that was useful. So I had 2 plastic bags which I took with me. One was for dirty laundry and one was for clean laundry. It just helped me stay nice and organised. Utensils, I probably didn't need all 3, but it makes no difference, so might as well take them. Knife with lid, obviously, I used that. So I carried 2 gas bottles, and I'm not even halfway through the first one and I was away for a week. I only cooked twice though, so to be honest, I think 1 gas bottle would have been enough. This just took up space and I didn't want to throw it away because they're like £7 and I don't want to waste that. So next time we just take 1 and we save that space. Portable phone chargers. This one's not very good, but I took it anyway just in case I needed it. And this one is from Amazon. Again, it's just some unbranded, what's called that. I think it just comes up if you Google phone chargers, and it lasted 6 charges. So that was enough to keep me going. Obviously I did charge the phone through the bike as well, but it's just crucial to have backup. So obviously we take that next time. And that is one. Obviously this one also had my clothes in it, that's why there's not very much else in there. Number 2. Oh boy, right. A mallet. I know there's some really hardcore people out there that can step on tent pegs in such a way that they go into the ground without any effort whatsoever. I can't do that, so I take a mallet, and it's very, very useful. It's also not mine, I don't know whose that belongs to. Got my little torch. I didn't use that this time because the tent was so tiny, it was like I don't need to see because it can't move around anyway. But it just hangs up on the little hooks and it's very useful. I probably wouldn't take that if I was going away with a little tent because I just didn't use it and it's a really awkward shape. But when I go away with the big tent for long lengths of time, I would take that. I've got the little bag that my towel thing came in, but that's on the dryer right now. Bug spray. I should have used this more than I did. So to be honest, I probably wouldn't take it again because I didn't use it very much. I should have, but I didn't. I thought this was a really good idea, but it turned out to be completely useless and a complete waste of space. So when I cook, I always think, oh, I wish I had some herbs and spices and things. So I was really excited. I was like, I'm gonna make a little jar of just generic. So this is salt, pepper, and some chili powder. And I was like, yes, I can season my cooking. I didn't use it. So that was a waste of time, effort, and space. Took an entire packet of baby wipes because I thought, what if the showers are gross and I don't want to use the showers? I can just baby wipe myself clean. First of all, no you can't. And also the showers were amazing and I used them. So I didn't need to use these and they took up a lot of space. And again, because it was new and I didn't want to throw away a 99p thing of baby wipes, so I kept it. Brought a bottle opener even though I don't drink. I mean, I do drink sometimes, but I get a can. Brought an entire packet of pee bowls. My tent is barely big enough to kneel up and pee in. And also the toilets were fairly close, so I probably didn't need to. I used 1 out of the 8 or so that I brought. To be honest, I probably would just keep taking them anyway because it's not worth the risk if you end up camping like half a mile away from a toilet. I would rather just pee in my tent. Waterproof socks. I would keep taking them with me just in case, but I actually didn't use them despite the amount of rain. My Timberland boots kept my feet dry. Who would have guessed? So I would take these, but I didn't use them on this occasion. So I put stuff in Tupperwares with the idea that I could keep food in Tupperwares. I didn't because it was too warm to keep food for that length of time in anything other than a fridge, so I didn't save any food. And these take up more room than necessary, even though they've got stuff in them. Like that stuff could have gone in like a little bag or something. So I've got my tiny toiletries. And I brought hand cream because one time I went camping and my hands just went all dry and horrible, so I bought a little thing of hand cream. I thought I'll take that because it will happen again, and it didn't. So I don't know, sometimes you do need it and sometimes you don't. I didn't. But this is falling apart. It's falling apart. This is my cooking utensil kit. So this was from Decathlon. And it's super clever. Get everything you need. So you've got like a thing to rest your pots and pans on when they're still hot. But this comes out and it's a frying pan. I left my washing up kit in there. Absolutely necessary. So anyway, these come out and then you've got a saucepan. It's got a lid and inside it you've got cups, cutlery and two little bowl plate things. And then if you don't put it back exactly how you got it out, it will not fit. We'll deal with that in a minute. So obviously that is super useful. It's kind of a big one, to be honest, like that's too much stuff for one person, but I did end up using all of it, and you can't really buy one person ones that are decent enough. Like I like cooking complex things that involve both a frying pan and a saucepan. So I need both of those things, but I don't need 2 bowls and 2 cups. But you can't get a 1 bowl, 1 cup thing that also has both a saucepan and a frying pan. So it's like, might as well take it. I ended up cooking too much food anyway. Might as well have had a second person. Should have just gone around the campsite like, hey, do you want some pasta? This is my stove, which is totally perfect for me. It's not very well balanced, like it falls off a lot. You just got to keep putting it back on the thing. But it's specific to these gas bottles. I will show you and try and not set my house on fire. You pop it on like that, and then oh my god, this is gonna go bad. I'm not gonna do it because I will set fire to my house. You turn the thing and then you press the button and fire comes out, and then you just pull it off again, and it's so easy. I can smell gas. Shit. It's fine. Probably fine. Put that away. I brought a packet of tissues, which I did use one. It's got a runny nose. I thought I would need them in case of like toilet shortage, but again I stayed in campsites, so there were toilets and they had toilet roll in them. Not always the case though, so just pack a thing of tissues. I packed a face mask because my skin absolutely hates camping. It goes horrible and dry and it starts peeling around, and I thought I'll treat my skin to something nice, and then I totally didn't, so I still have this and it takes up 0 space, so I will take it next time in case of a skin crisis. On this occasion, all I actually got were midgie bites, which showed up when I got back. I didn't realise quite how bad it was, but they are relentless. They will go for your eyeballs. They don't care. Now you get a mosquito, it'll get you like shoulder or your ankle or something. No, they will literally go for your eyes. Eyebrow, like everywhere. So maybe take something. Some people like antihistamine cream. I don't know what that is because I don't get hay fever, but maybe next time I get some of that and I give that a try instead of taking face masks. I took a spare credit card and I kept it in my jacket, and the idea behind that was in case of emergencies I would have a credit card, you know, in case I just lose my card or something, which has never happened to me before, and yet I'm always worried that I'm gonna do it. So I took a spare credit card, and when I actually had an emergency that required me to spend money that I didn't necessarily have in my current account, so I thought I'll use a credit card. Did I know the PIN? I did not know the PIN. I haven't used this for a very long time. I did not know the PIN. So I locked myself out of it, even though it was still working contactless, and then I couldn't use it, and now it's useless. So if you're gonna be super clever like that, make sure you at least know what your fucking PIN is. I need to deal with that now. I've got to ring up my bank and be like, hey, yeah, sorry. I totally forgot to mention a puncture repair kit would have been invaluable to my last trip. So a friend of mine has kindly donated one, which I need to learn how to use and get something to put air into my tyres. But yeah, you never expect it to happen, to be honest, and then it does every time someone gets a puncture, and then eventually it's gonna be you. So although the breakdown recovery that the bike had was extremely effective and I was back on the road in like 3 hours with a shiny new tyre, always consider that that might happen somewhere where you don't have the means to get help. So yeah, puncture repair kit, that, yeah, I should have had one of those. I've got one now. I also took various phone chargers, obviously, backup phone chargers, and I kept those in my backpack. So I had a choice of 2 backpacks that I could take, and I ended up taking the slightly bigger backpack because I thought, where am I going to put food? So I took a bigger backpack so I had room to carry food and water with me. So I bought like a normal bottle of water. I kept at least 1, maybe 2 of those with me at all times. I wanted to take, oh my god, I wanted to take this backpack because I love this backpack. It's got like a dry bag, it's super waterproof, it's cute, it's got a secondary pocket, just a nice smaller backpack, but it did not fit the amount of stuff that I wanted to take. So I took this one, which is actually my everyday backpack. It's not as waterproof, like it's resistant, but it has got a waterproof pocket inside it. So I put all of my phone chargers and my power banks in that, and then I use the main pocket for like my little bag of toiletries and my water and my food. And then what I also did was I chucked a, if I can get it, it's a bit tangled, I chucked a cargo net over the whole lot, and then when I did buy food I just tucked it under the cargo net, and that's how I fit everything on my bike. So that was everything. I learned a fair bit. I think I can definitely save room on my next trip, but then there's also things that I should have taken instead. Like, I wore my Timberland boots, which was great for both riding around and walking around in, but for getting up in the middle of the night, putting knee-high lace-ups on takes time, and I could not do it in my tiny tent easily. I was out of breath struggling trying to get those shoes on inside my tent. So instead of taking some of that stuff, what I should take is some small cheap shoes that I can just slip on in the night and walk around in, and maybe if I packed shoes I could wear actual motorcycle boots as well, so I can just wear those when I want to walk around. So that is something that I could have taken instead. It also might have been good to take a hoodie. I didn't take anything warm, so when I was cold I had to just wear my bike jacket, and that was fine. But again, if it's raining you don't want that to get wet, so just rearranging the clothes that I took. But for the most part, I think I got it just about right. So yeah, go me. I hope this video was somewhat helpful to some people. Hopefully it'll be helpful to me and I can look back on it, and then when I'm packing it, like, gotta remember that. But yeah, thank you for watching, and see you soon. I will go camping again as soon as I can with more unhelpful hints and tips. Bye.